thing is clear. If intellectual integrity and ethics mean anything to the True.Origin staff, then after this article I would expect to see one of two things. Ideally, it would be both. Number one, a clearly stated disclaimer at the website indicating that their goal is about promoting the theory of evolution to the point of demanding special interpretations of the Bible, and more generally, about promoting a naturalistic, materialistic view of the universe, a la Carl Sagan.
There is a clearly stated disclaimer on the website, a fact which Mr. Fernandez should be well aware of. From the welcome page. The True.Origin's archive is a collection of articles and essays that explore the creationism/evolution controversy from a mainstream scientific perspective. In other words, the authors of most of the articles in this archive accept the prevailing scientific view that the Earth is ancient, that there was no global flood, and that evolution is responsible for the Earth's present biodiversity. That page also includes the section quoted above, which explains both why the archive does not include creationist articles and where to go to find creationist websites, including the True.Origin site. In addition, the main homepage also makes a similar statement. This archive is a collection of articles and essays, most of which have appeared in True.Origins at one time or another. The primary reason for this archive's existence is to provide mainstream scientific responses to the many frequently asked questions and frequently rebutted assertions that appear in True.Origins. Our goal is to provide the mainstream scientific perspective on the history of the Earth and the history of life. We make no secret of that, and we do state that in multiple places very clearly. Whether or not accepting the mainstream scientific perspective demands the acceptance of a special interpretation of the Bible is a theological question, not a scientific one, and not one which the archive takes a stand on, since we advocate no particular religious or philosophical position. Mr. Fernandez might feel that the position that Genesis is written in figurative rather than scientifically accurate language is a special interpretation. Others think that uncritically accepting Genesis as a description of historical events without considering when the book was first written or the literary forms commonly used at the time is a special interpretation. Mr. Fernandez appears to assume that his interpretation of Genesis is the only one generally accepted by Christians. This is simply incorrect, as the various interpretations of Genesis FAQ demonstrates. Since the True.Origin archive does not seek to promote any specific religion or philosophy, naturalistic or otherwise, it would be inappropriate for us to alter our disclaimer to that suggested by Mr. Fernandez. In fact, it would be downright dishonest of us to do so.
2. A truthful, accurate and complete presentation of views other than evolution or naturalism, e.g. intelligent design theory, alongside their own preferred views. If they are unclear as to what those other views are, then they should conduct a serious scholarly inquiry and not simply post some incomplete or distorted version of what they believe the other side has to say on the matter.
It is in the interests of not presenting an inaccurate or distorted view that we provide links to websites presenting opposing views rather than attempting to present them ourselves. In addition, Mr. Fernandez's choice of host detracts from his argument here. It is difficult to accept that this is a sincere request when it is presented on a site that does not attempt to meet those standards.
I cannot see how True.Origins will be able to acquire a status of objectivity and truthfulness without adding at least one of these attributes to their sites. As it stands, True.Origins is an affront to the ideal of intellectual integrity, scholarly pursuit, and moral responsibility.
Let's talk about intellectual integrity and moral responsibility for a second here, with the focus on Mr. Fernandez's own work. His post quotes extensively from and purports to identify deception through omission in the FAQ page. This page is a sort of meta FAQ which provides a list of questions with very brief 1 or 2 sentence answers and a link to the pages which contain more detailed responses. Mr. Fernandez's article analyzes 7 of the 24 questions and answers presented on that page, and purports to identify deception by omission in each of the 7 responses. Yet, when the quotes from Mr. Fernandez's article are compared to the original page, a real pattern of omission becomes clear. From Mr. Fernandez's article,
Don't you have to be an atheist to accept evolution? No. Many people of Christian and other faiths accept evolution as the scientific explanation for biodiversity.
The same section from the original archive version. Don't you have to be an atheist to accept evolution? No. Many people of Christian and other faiths accept evolution as the scientific explanation for biodiversity. See the God and Evolution FAQ and the Interpretations of Genesis FAQ. From Mr. Fernandez' article.
No one has ever directly observed evolution happening, so how do you know it is true? Evolution has been observed, both directly and indirectly. It is true.
The same section from the original archive version. No one has ever directly observed evolution happening, so how do you know it is true? Evolution has been observed, both directly and indirectly. It is true. See the 5 major misconceptions about evolution FAQ and 29 plus evidences for macroevolution. I chose those particular 2 simply because they were the shortest to quote, but I could have chosen any of the 7 selections quoted by Mr. Fernandez. The answers to all 7 questions in the original archive versions include a short response and links to where a more in-depth answer can be found. In all 7 cases, Fernandez omits the links to the in-depth responses. Nowhere does he ever indicate that an omission has been made, and in fact specifically claims otherwise.
My responses are to the selected entries, Q&As, taken verbatim from the True.Origin's FAQ page, reveal how the True.Origin's writers have selectively omitted essential facts in their efforts in order to lend credibility to the TO perspective.
By omitting without acknowledgement the sentences with links to the in-depth responses, Fernandez makes it appear that he is addressing the entire True.Origin's response to each question. In fact, his entire claim that the archive responses dishonestly omit material rests on the assumption that he is addressing the entire archive response. Mr. Fernandez's behavior, not that of the archive, demonstrates deception by omission in its purest form. For Mr. Fernandez to engage in such conduct and then claim that the True.Origin's archive is an affront to the ideal of intellectual integrity, scholarly pursuit, and moral responsibility takes hypocrisy to a new level. It takes a great deal of chutzpah and a complete lack of integrity to use deliberate omissions of context as a basis for accusing someone else of deception by omission. In the very first sentence of the True.Origin homepage, the founder and administrator of the site, Tim Wallace, gives the purpose of his site. He states that
this site was established to provide an intellectually honest response to the claims of evolutionism's proponents, including but not limited to the likes of the True.Origin's newsgroup and website.
If Mr. Wallace wishes to maintain any claim to intellectual honesty, he should immediately withdraw Mr. Fernandez's article from his site and issue an apology to the True.Origin's archive for his negligence in publishing such a blatantly dishonest article.